The special relationship is dead, isn't it? Keir Starmer and his Labour government have completely killed it. From the very start of them getting into power, we knew there would be problems, didn't we? Keir Starmer and his cabinet, before they were in office, often attacked the Trump administration. And of course, David Lammy, the Deputy Prime Minister, has previously called Trump a racist KKK and Nazi sympathiser. Didn't look like it was going to get off to a good start, did it? And Labour activists and politicians also went to help Kamala Harris win that election. Well, it's no wonder why she lost in a landslide, is it? What a contrast to the time of Thatcher and Reagan. You could even point to the Bush and Blair years as another good example.
America has no truer friend than Great Britain. Once again, we are joined together in a great cause. So honored the British Prime Minister has crossed an ocean to show his unity.
Last Saturday, the Prime Minister failed to do the very basic thing for our greatest ally. Just let them refuel on our bases, joint bases, by the way, with the United States in some cases. That's all he had to do to avoid all of this chaos. And even Starmer's mates, Mark Carney, the Prime Minister of Canada, and Anthony Albanese of Australia, didn't make this fatal error, did they? Then on March the 2nd, just a few days later, Trump told The Telegraph that he was very disappointed with Keir Starmer. A day after that, on March the 3rd, Trump escalated his attacks, saying Starmer was not helpful and stated that the UK-US relationship is obviously not what it was. Then we got this.
By the way, I'm not happy with the UK either, so we are very surprised. This is not Winston Churchill that we're dealing with.
And of course, 2 days later, he reportedly called Keir Starmer a loser with no future in private. And then finally, yesterday, he unleashed hell on our Prime Minister Keir Starmer in this Truth Social post, where he said the United Kingdom, our once great ally, maybe the greatest of them all, is finally giving serious thought to sending 2 aircraft carriers to the Middle East. That's OK, Prime Minister Starmer. We don't need them any longer, but we will remember. We don't need people that join wars after we've already won. And it wasn't just Trump either, sort of stabbing Keir Starmer in the back, was it? Tony Blair, once best mates with the Prime Minister, now wielded yet another knife. And he said this: I think we should have backed America from the very beginning. They are not just an ally, they are an indispensable ally, right? They are an indispensable cornerstone for your security. You better show up. Once again, Starmer has had to make an embarrassing U-turn after embarrassing U-turn all week this week. He's demonstrated time and time again that he clearly is totally unfit to be our Prime Minister. He can't handle domestic or even foreign policy without humiliating himself and our nation. And now his beleaguered premiership has cost this country our most important alliance. All I can say is, rest in peace, the special relationship.
There's nothing more important than keeping your money and your identity safe online. And with so many VPN options available, choosing the right one can be pretty daunting. But this video's sponsor, ExpressVPN, is making the choice easier for GB News viewers. ExpressVPN is offering up to 75% off, plus 4 extra months free. That's top-level security from just £2.49 a month, and you're covered by their 30-day money-back guarantee. So just click the link in this video's description or scan the QR code now. Remember, when you're online, you are often sharing personal data, so hackers can steal your information, your passwords, your photos, and your bank details in just seconds. But ExpressVPN encrypts your connection, making it virtually impossible for hackers to access your personal information. So why choose ExpressVPN? Well, it couldn't be easier to use. With just one click, you are protected. And ExpressVPN uses military-grade AES 256 encryption, which is the same standard trusted by the US government to guard their classified information. With their new tiered plans, you can protect up to 14 devices at once and manage passwords securely. live chat support is available 24/7, and it typically connects you in under a minute with a real person. Click the link in this video's description or scan the QR code to get up to 75% off ExpressVPN, plus 4 months extra for free. Start protecting yourself today with ExpressVPN.
Let's get the thoughts of my panel. Former Met Police detective Peter Bleksley is back. Businessman and activist Adam Brooks is here, and making her debut, former Labour advisor Aisha Ali Khan. Peter, welcome back to the show. Such a pleasure to have you back here.
Thank you.
That Truth Social post last night was very, very damning by the President of the United States, and we've seen this build-up over the course of the last week. Do you think the special relationship is dead?
This nation, this once great nation, is led by lefty human rights lawyers. Starmer, Hermer, the Attorney General. And so what do you expect? You know, these people are just so obsessed and gripped by the ultra-left-leaning ideology of human rights lawyers that to actually appreciate that the way to keep this nation safe, bearing in mind how hollowed out our own military has shamefully become over successive governments, is to have a very close alliance with the United States. And I'm afraid that now is simply lying in tatters.
Yeah, it definitely feels that way. It certainly feels that way. Adam, the President of the United States is not ever a man to hide his personal opinions on people. It's not very diplomatic, is it? No. Is this unfair on Keir Starmer? Is he trying to balance his left-wing party, who would obviously be very, very anti any support for the United States of America, at a time where it looks like he's probably on the very skin of his teeth to keep this job?
Let me tell you why Donald Trump is not wrong here. For me, it looks like Keir Starmer has, again, tried to sit on the fence. And when you sit on the fence long enough, you get splinters, OK? He does it with everything. But it's not just Donald Trump that has basically mocked our response and is angry at our response. The United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, Cyprus have said they're disappointed. You failed us. That was a weak response. Now, how damning that our own allies, forget Donald Trump here for a moment, he will always go off on one. And you can't win this argument with lefties because they just go off on a tangent about Donald Trump. Let's focus here about the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain and Cyprus. We've also had David Lammy on a TV interview twice telling the audience that Cyprus was a NATO member.
Yeah,
so they're not just left-wing academics. We have idiots running our country as well. And it is so scary as a citizen of this country who has children. What more damage can they do in the next 3 years?
Plenty.
Well, yeah, that's the worry, isn't it? Aisha, look, I'll bring this to you. Tony Blair, former Prime Minister, the most successful Labour leader in history, once election after election after election. Tony Blair pretty much just spilled it out, didn't he, the other day, and said, this is just the common sense thing to do. And he wasn't taking a direct jab at Keir Starmer, but it was an indirect one, wasn't it?
I think the fact that Tony Blair took us into a war, an unjust and illegal war 24, 25 years ago, that's all we need to know about him. And he should just shut up and sit down, because the region is still recovering from his intervention, the fact that he went into this war with George Bush at the time, and for what? Weapons of mass destruction that were never found because they never existed. And I think Keir Starmer's approach is a measured approach. He's taking his time, he's looking at the evidence, and he's seeing if it's legal war or an illegal war. And he's doing the right thing. This is exactly what we should expect from a Prime Minister who is a lawyer, who is a human rights lawyer, and who has seen what happened with this war, the invasion of Iraq, the Afghanistan escapade as well. And the region is still recovering. So to see this happening again is actually, it's like deja vu all over again.
Peter, what do you make of that?
Well, it's not an invasion yet, OK? There haven't been ground troops, so I need to correct you on that. It's been an air offensive. And let's take a look at Iran, if we must, OK? We've heard of terrorist groups like Islamic State and Al-Qaeda. Iran is the manifestation of what they want. That's what they want. Extreme Islam, with women subjugated, no rights, treated as third, fourth, fifth class citizens, barbarism, murdering people who actually object to the oppressive regime. That is Iran that sponsors terrorism around the globe. Hezbollah, Hamas, the Houthis, it goes on. So, quite frankly, I shed not one tear for any of the Iranian government that get killed as a result of these airstrikes. Yeah. I'm sure if the Iranian people could rise up, if they were sufficiently armed, they would, but tragically they're not. I've no idea how this is going to pan out. But to every Islamist imam who goes on social media, who bangs on about wanting to take over the UK, everybody who lives in this country and detests it, round them up and send them to Iran, because there's their Islamic State for them.
I agree. And there's Muslims around the world, in many of the countries that are now being attacked by Iran, that are calling out this Islamist extreme regime. They are, as you say, the worst of the worst. And all we want for these people is heartbreaking to see women executed because they dared to show their face or show their hair. Murdered in the streets. We've had children, women, men, people that are gay have been murdered there. We have no place in this world for regimes like that. And look, if Donald Trump and the allies can get rid of them, great. But as you say, this is not Iraq. We must never put our troops on the ground there and put our British troops at risk. But there are authorities ready there to take over and try and seek a democratic country. I think it was is it Pav?
Yeah, the Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi.
Yeah, 178-page report today has been put out in their roadmap to democracy in Iran. That would be fantastic for the people of Iran if it could happen.
Aisha, before I come to you, we just want to break some news here for you. Iran's Assembly of Experts has Mojtaba Khamenei to replace his father, Ayatollah Khamenei, as the country's new supreme leader, state media reported just moments ago. That's interesting. Yeah, what do you think of that, Peter?
Bomb him.
Yeah, that's what the IDF has said they're going to do.
President Trump, get rid of him and all. And let them put another one in place and then bomb him.
How many hours
and then
do you
another
give him?
one.
How many hours do you give him to place his bet? I think he's going to last 24 hours. Aisha, this is the thing, right? I mean, they can replace whoever they want. They can replace everyone. He was never the favourite to take over. They're clearly quite desperate, and they are trying to get into talks with Donald Trump. Donald Trump wants a say in who the regime pick. Do you think he should have one?
No, I mean, can you imagine if we said the same, that we want to go over to the US and we're going to bomb the leader that people have chosen? I mean, obviously, in this case, it wasn't chosen for the people.
But that is the point, isn't it?
But the leadership
haven't chosen him.
I'm going to come to that point. The leaders that are there, we cannot implement a positive regime change with bombs. It just does not work.
Well, how should we do it then?
And Peter,
how should we do it? Please answer that question.
Peter, what you're not understanding is the longer the bombs fall, the more hardened the people are going to be against what's happening, against US intervention, against Western intervention. And we're going to see people actually turning against the West.
What do we think, going back to the special relationship here, Adam, I'll just bring you back in. Has Keir Starmer's approach to Donald Trump has the veil finally fallen? I mean, maybe you've said to me many times on this show that you think this is all a facade between the two of them, it's all going to implode. You were right.
I've said months and months ago, probably a year ago, that the body language, my job is to see the public. The body language of Trump to Starmer was that he hated him. It was so plainly obvious. And I've been on so many panels where left-wingers have gone, you're wrong, he said he likes him. You can tell if someone likes someone by their body language. But let's also remember, Labour tried to influence the election, the US election, against Donald Trump. They tried to back Kamala Harris. We think that might have been illegal, nothing come of it. But Trump does not forget these sort of things.
Peter?
So Labour has tried to influence American politics too.
Well, it's a question for Aisha, please, if I may. If we're not to alter the regime in Iran by dropping bombs, what do you suggest? Leaflets?
No, I suggest that we support people who will actually help change the government, but it does not work.
With munitions, then? What? So we arm the people of Iran, do we?
And if you're bombing and killing all these potential people that could take over, who is going to be left?
We're not
if we want to support the people of Iran,
50,000 people in Iran have died because of the bombs.
But what about the 50,000 that were dying and being slaughtered on the streets by the regime?
Again, that is completely wrong.
Let's park this for now, because later on in the show this evening, when we talk next, I'm going to show you the footage of the protests throughout the day I spent yesterday. And I think it's going to be really enlightening for everyone at home to see the two protests, the anti-Islamist regime protest and the, pro-regime protest, Stop the War coalition. A group of them were there. I'm going to show that to you in about 40 minutes' time.